think we're just about ready to broadcast. I have sworn that I'm not um, shaving or putting on nice attire until it's legitimately warm in this house for 2 days, I said. And it's just about there.
Just about there, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty close. It's warmed up today.
Oh yeah.
That has made it really nice. Um, and also, I'm just taking a second here to change a couple things on the broadcast. I want to upload a thumbnail. So we have a special show tonight. What do you got for us tonight, Brandon?
Oh, well, we've got some warmer weather coming our way this week. And yeah, and it's going to be quiet in Alberta while BC starts to get active. Bit of an active pattern, especially on the coastal sections there once again. And what else we've got coming up this week? Oh, yes. Pretty much for the next week or so, it's just going to be very quiet. We'll
And
recap
the
the
Man
last
BC
couples.
starts to get and the Manitoba Center for Weather,
Yeah.
or
We'll
Center for Manitoba Weather.
We'll hop on and tell us a bit about their last two snowstorms that they've one blizzard back on Sunday to Monday, and they had another storm yesterday. So it's been an active week there. So, and then I do have another wild story and fact that
A
I kind
wild story. In fact, I'm almost done sending links to everybody to get this going.
of.
Yeah, how do you know the Weather Center of Manitoba people?
Yeah. Well, I've known them probably longer than you, so
I think so. I don't know them at all.
you don't know them at all. No. So they actually had a Prairie Weather Center page, and I kind of helped them out with that long time. I'd say 10 or so years ago. Yeah. And then I got busy with this radio gig. Yeah.
Fair enough. I
Yeah.
think I need to get water to drink in my phone. Mark Engels is coming in. Excellent. So I can get those two things set up for myself.
Okay.
Uh, then I might be good. Hey, Mark and young one.
Yes, the young one wanted to talk about the weather too.
All
Good.
right.
Good. We want to hear it.
Are you going to
Especially
tell them about the weather?
Not yet. Show them this.
Oh, she wants to show that she
Yeah,
drew.
it's still going. I drew with my. It just spoke wrong.
is that a picture of you presenting the weather on a map?
No, no, no,
No.
no. I was on the maze.
Oh, in the maze. In the corn maze.
Yes.
Haber
Okay.
corn.
Okay,
Well,
that's
isn't that awesome?
Oh, you're going to talk about the weather?
But there's one thing I want to talk about the weather. The weather keeps up outside.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good place for it, eh? We like it to be out there.
Yeah.
When it starts getting inside, that's when you know you have problems.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
we had some water inside our house with the big ice storm. There was some ice damming on our roof, so we had the weather inside.
Oh.
Yes, yes. But I don't know why the water keeps up.
Yeah, sometimes the weather gets in here, like the cold gets in here, so it's starting to warm up, and soon I won't have to wear a hoodie all the time just to be downstairs in my house at night.
Yes.
Our downstairs. So we live in a very urban part of Portland, and so we've got mature street trees, and so our downstairs is like a cave. It stays very cool, and I kind of wish, because I like sleeping cold, and so I wish it was normal to have the sleeping area on the first floor and the living space on the second floor, because I want it warm during the day, but I
Yeah.
want it freezing cold at night.
And
You know,
now,
one of the miraculous things about this building is it does stay quite cold downstairs in the wintertime, but it also does in the summer. So it's
Yeah.
and the great thing is because the sun at this, when you're this far north, the sun is straight above you through much of the hottest days of the summer. So you can have the curtains open often, and you're still not getting that heat through the window that warm your place
Yeah.
right. Right?
We have that because
Yeah,
we've got
it's
some
the banana.
big, like, I don't even know what, I never learned the kinds of
Hey,
trees.
hey. I'm just gonna talk to him.
Just about poke his eye out.
First day of wearing
Yeah,
contacts in a
understand,
while, my
no.
kid's gonna skewer my eye.
Let me talk to him.
That is funny.
So,
Well, good.
so,
This is the show
so
about how much the
today,
weather sucks in Canada. It's the recording session for the meteorological report, everybody. Just got to tell the audience. So welcome, please hit like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, let them know we're on here. And as we get into warmer months, we will start looking better and better. Sure, that's a given. Yes. At 7 p.m. Pacific time, we will have Frankie McDonald show up and we will begin recording of the show. And then, so we record from 7 to 8 o'clock and we take that and edit it down and make it into a radio broadcast and a television show. And Mark is helping us to try maybe get it into Portland as well. So with any luck, we'll keep expanding. But if you got a local radio station that is looking for shows, I mean, send them our way. I mean, obviously, Brandon can't do that because his radio stations are corporate and they have a lot of rules, and they don't care for things that are different. On the new country radio station and all that. That's good though. We have a weird echo.
Oh yeah.
Mark, you're making us echo, Mark.
Echo.
Whatever you just changed is bad. Because now I hear everything I say twice. It's fixed.
There we go.
Perfect. But that's why we have the pre-show here. We used to have the pre-show before the show, and the pre-show was where we could iron these things out. But then we had so much fun doing the pre-show, we just thought, well, why don't we just broadcast the whole darn thing live, and then we can do that. So, okay, let's have a look-see. Here we are in Canada right now, particularly British Columbia, where we got Pacific Storm coming in, and we got there's a couple big storms out there in the Pacific, but this one is here now. It's coming this weekend, tonight through Friday night, 100 to 150 millimeters of rain on that west coast of Vancouver Island, winds gusting 70 to 90. So that's a big story. We have huge snowfall totals going up here at the winter storm warning. Could even see 45 centimeters at Kitimat. So Mike from Winnipeg is coming in. So our Center for Manitoba Weather people are showing up. That's excellent.
Yeah.
Michael McGregor coming in. So we'll have him to talk in a few minutes. Here in not quite the Caribou, but kind of, I'm right at the bottom end of this right here. And it's definitely turning to snowy weather right now. So Highway 97, Bear Lake, Lynn Creek, Carp Lake, Provincial Park, McLeod, Mackenzie, Fort St. James areas north of Prince George, including Bear Lake, expecting snowfall 10 centimeters. Someone was talking to me on the Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers group today and saying that they were planning to go to Mackenzie this week, tomorrow. And I said, well, if you go in the afternoon, you might miss some of that. And then over special weather statements going on, precipitation expected to begin on Saturday as rain.
Hey guys.
Change. Hello, Mike. Welcome to the show from Manitoba Weather Center.
Yep.
For
Justin
Manitoba
should
Weather.
be joining us soon.
Excellent. Welcome to the Comedy Meteorology Report.
Thanks.
And this is the pre-show. This isn't even the show, but we're live streaming. I have to explain this because it's weird. But Frankie comes on at 7 o'clock, and then we start recording the radio TV broadcast. However, we're live doing this ahead of time. So generally what I do right now is just kind of give us all an idea what's going on out there, and so we know what our stories are beforehand, and get ourselves situated.
I'm just camera shy.
That's okay.
Oh yeah.
Because it's going to be a radio show eventually. And, Brandon and I, we agree that we have faces made for radio. We're perfect.
That's what my grandpa used to
I
tell me
also
too.
do a radio show too on CQW at Trance, Techno, EDM. It's Tuesdays at 9 on there. So I think I'll
Excellent.
fit right in.
We'll get you to push the show then.
Mike, does this radio station that you're on make it all the way to War Road, Minnesota?
Really?
Does it?
No, it's in
Yeah.
Winnipeg.
Because
can
that's
get
where
it
my dad
online.
lives.
Hungry stuff.
Not quite all the way to Minnesota.
However,
Minnesota.
I think it's on the Radio Player Canada app, though. It is, yeah. I found it on there. So,
It's on
30,
TuneIn as well.
yeah, tune in.
So see, that's the same station we broadcast our show on, Mark. So
Okay.
Mike,
So it's pretty
that's
much
Mike.
just in Winnipeg.
that's the relevance there. So yeah, some mornings, some big snow. We got Frankie videos this week as well on the big snow. So we'll talk about that. Avalanche. We do now have some details on Gardner Creek fatality in Castle Wildlife Provincial Park. Measured 200 meters wide. The avalanche ran for 250 meters, 40 centimeters deep. A layer of crystals that the avalanche was able to ride on top of. Despite conducting companion rescue search, the group was unable to locate the buried victim. They did not find him until the next day. And that gives you an idea of what we're looking at for terrain. That's a very dangerous terrain, and that kind of thing is continuing, especially on the Alberta side, this special public avalanche warning continues. But also on Vancouver Island now, we do have high. That's all through the weekend. So if you're planning to do anything out there this weekend, and also up in Kitimat, where we just talked about with the 20 to 40 centimeters of snow, depending where you are, avalanche potential is very high there right now. So that's one of the stories this weekend. Check this out. One of my favorite graphics every week from the University of Carolina. Here's our storms coming in. 1, 2, packing a punch.
One nice thing with the snowfall that we're going to get in BC this weekend and next week is when we turn warmer, we're not going to have rain on top of it. So that should mitigate some of the avalanche risk. Obviously, there is avalanche risk when we warm up, but it's worse when it rains on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like we get some nice break of weather for you guys in the prairies, though, Mike. So you just had a really crazy snowstorm come through there.
Yeah, I was actually at work yesterday, and I had to come home, and it was absolutely wild. I couldn't even see downtown from Polo Park area. I honestly think that if that was the last winter storm for this year, I'd be completely okay with that.
But it won't be.
Have you seen the troughing that's going to set up there in the week and a half? I don't think
haven't
that's
looked
your
at any
last
of the
one.
models. I've been so busy, but I was gonna have a look. So, what's this troughing you're talking about?
Well, we're gonna get some ridging here in the west, and that of course means troughing in the east. And you guys count as the east as far as this is concerned. And it doesn't look exceptional, but I just kind of feel like, with a persistent trough over the Hudson Bay, Winnipeg has got to get something out of that.
Even if it's like a little bit of snow, I saw like a high +3 next week. I don't know how long that's gonna last, and there's another low. Looks like it.
This is
How many
beyond
days out is
next
that?
week. This is like probably the 10 to 15 day time frame.
Yeah, we're pretty far out. This is the 14th already. I'm looking at.
Models start falling apart in accuracy about 7 days out. So
Yeah,
as long as there's a good consistency in the model runs, I don't see this being like the ridging there. Like that could really translate to some really nice spring warmth later on.
I want the rain back. I want rain. I moved to Portland for rain. I want it to be 65, or I guess I want it to be 18 degrees and raining.
Did you see my light bulb just blew next to me, and it was like lightning. It was like flash. I'm gonna put a new light bulb in there so that I have better visuals. Continue, everybody.
Yeah, you got to put a new light bulb in for your radio show.
Yeah.
I know, fucked up, eh?
That That's just like
Ah.
Brandon here with his mic that lights up red for his radio show.
Oh
But
yeah, it does.
we are on TV now, as a matter of fact,
Yeah,
right?
I guess. Yeah,
We,
we're.
ow, it's hot!
Oh yeah, that's gonna be hot.
Why?
It always seems that the LED lights, those new fluorescent ones, they don't get hot.
That's what I have all throughout my house. My electrical bill is so low. Some of these change colors too. I got the color change ones from IKEA, and they just like I could turn it red, I could turn it purple, I could turn it blue, I could turn it a different shade of white. It's great.
Can you change it yellow too?
Yes, I can.
I'm gonna
All
take this
from-
light bulb and drop it on my head and discover gravity.
There you go. Yeah, this
So
light here that's
for
shining
the
on my face.
show, is this gonna be like, are they people gonna see our faces? Because I'm so totally okay with that.
On the YouTube, yes, but and I guess on the TV as well. Yeah, it's a TV show, Rogers TV. It's not a big time TV show. I mean, no one actually cares.
Well, I'm gonna go and shave so I don't have a beard.
Hey, that's cool. I've done that many times before shows, and that's why so many times I started shows bleeding. It's true though. It's true, and because I actually really hate having facial hair. In fact, regularly just letting it grow. This is a new. I'm 44 years old. This is a new thing in my adult life. I've always
Well,
shaved at least this.
I shaved this morning. I prefer to shave, and my wife really prefers it when I shave, but I'm just lazy. Like I don't grow even at 29. I do not grow it enough to shave more than maybe 2 or 3 times a week, but I just cannot be bothered.
That's how it was for me much of my life, right? And I just kept the chops because then I only had to shave this, and it saved me thousands of dollars in razors. And it was a perfect razor width across. People are like, what's the story of your chops? I'm like, it's
So thousands of dollars of razors, that's like $30 down here, right?
yeah. I need a haircut too. Look at I got like these hairs.
I
that
just got
won't
one
stay
the
in
other
my
day. I
hat.
would have come in here looking like Justin Bieber
I mean,
if I didn't
Yeah.
get my haircut.
I've literally been sitting up in this mountain, freezing for like the last week, and I just like I'm not fucking shaving. I'm not putting on nice fucking clothes. I'm wearing the wood stove is going, and it's finally nice in here. We've had that warm up today. It was minus 12 when I went outside at 9 a.m. this morning, and it was like plus 2 by 2 in the afternoon. It was
We did 10 today, and it was sunny. So we went on a 11-kilometer hike.
Ooh, nice.
oh that's why we lost Hilding. His internet keeps crashing tonight. That's unfortunate. So we're cowboy-less. So
Cowboy
that's,
less.
that's I guess like, this is why we had the pre-show. So as I was saying, this is not the show, but now we are live streaming because we have so much fun in the you might as well see all of us before and after the actual recording. So it was never a live show before. We'd have a Zoom meeting, and then
I'm gonna be back in a few minutes, guys. I gotta put something in the oven for my dinner, so
Ooh, you'll have to
Good.
tell us more about that.
making
Yeah.
chicken burritos.
Yeah.
nice. Yeah,
I'm gonna see if I can get Justin on here. He should be done his work shift soon.
excellent. Yes. So yeah, we still got 9 minutes till Frankie shows up, and then he's like on time, and it's time to go.
Oh yeah.
He's professional about this stuff, and when
I
it
noticed
says,
I noticed he dips out on time too. Like
Yep.
8 o'clock, gone. Frankie
Yeah,
has a tight social schedule.
it's 8
It's
In
like
1
midnight
second.
there.
in
so-
1 second. 8
Yeah.
in 1 second. As soon as it
So
hits
I'm
1
gonna
second,
show a video of little look out my window with all the snow we got.
absolutely. Absolutely. If you talk, we'll be able to see it too.
Oh, can you guys see it now?
Yeah, it's a fair decent amount of snow. Hey, check this out. I bet you I can do the same thing. Do the same thing. We are having a low snow year in Wells. It's true. Very low snow year. But out there, I guess all you can really see is the reflection of everything on the window. There's the truck; it's buried still. But this is the lowest snow year I've ever seen in the town of Wells. It's really something for sure, and everyone's scared. Everyone's scared about wildfires this year. And Joey, so that's why I put a video on YouTube this week, discussing, how bad. Do we know it's going to be bad? Well, no, we don't know that.
On that subject, you and I were talking, off on our own chat, and one bad snow year. You guys have had so many reasonable snow years. One bad snow year is not going to overly stress the trees. So if you guys can have a dry spring, that may be pretty nice for you.
Well, the problem is that we've had multiple years of the trees being stressed, right? So it's
yeah.
That's the issue, I think, that we're partly into. And we did have a heat dome in 2021 that fucking lit things up when we were in the middle of a La Nina. So that's why I really can't make any guarantees as to, but we did see long stretches of cool, wet weather that summer. People do forget that. That after that heat dome, most of July was pretty subdued for heat, and we were able to get quite a bit of gain, able to gain quite a bit of traction on a lot of those wildfires. And then around the 12th of August, it came into another windy, hot spell, and things went for a run again. But it was really, most of the fire season was just dealing with recovering from that one period of time, right?
I lived in the Columbia Basin for that, and my house hit 47. But in the Columbia Basin, which is in the rain shadow of the Cascades, we did not get the onshore push, and so we were above 35 for like 2 or 3 weeks. It was horrible. I worked outside working on weather stations at the time for Washington State University, and my boss was like, well, you can take some time off if you want. You don't need to be out there. And I'm like, I'm an hourly employee, and I've got a 1-year-old at home. Like, I need money, man. So I started work at 3 a.m. instead and just quit when I got hot.
That's the way.
I had to go out there with my flashlight and scan for rattlesnakes before starting all these weather stations in the dark.
We got essentially it's two boobies. We're back into boobies.
Hey, go back to the satellite and roll that back to about 4 p.m.
Yeah, I got to move your head to do that. Satellite.
This is the 2 hour, so it'll be all the way left.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Isn't this just beautiful? Like,
oh yeah.
This is my favorite kind of weather, is you put a cinnamon roll on the surface weather map, huge comma over the ocean. Like, this is perfect weather.
Yeah, it's fucked up looking, eh? Look at how this one just comes together too. That's cool. You can see all the
cyclogenesis.
Big time.
Go back a little further and just get the whole show all day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one over in the Aleutians really wraps up pretty well over the course of the day.
Yeah, it starts off as just kind of an area of thinking about it, and pulls itself
starts off as a baroclinic leaf. That's what we call that.
Yeah. that's what I call it, an area of thinking about it. Right, so baroclinic leaf is the scientific term of thinking about it.
Yes.
So I got Josh walking in while there we go, delivering mail.
Woof.
And now Kenny is letting him have it. So there we go. We have 2 titties out there in the ocean. And let's have a look at them.
Man, 357. That's pretty. I mean, I know those Bering Strait lows get pretty deep, but I'm always just look at the map and am astonished. Like the record low air pressure at Portland is 967. The Columbus Day storm, I don't
That's
think was below 960, and that's our storm of record here
that's
in
nothing compared to
1962.
what
Right,
happens here all the time.
right.
You know, just to put it in perspective, right? The worst weather on Earth is like somewhere around here, basically.
Yeah, these islands get like 100 inches of rain a year, so like 250 centimeters, or yeah, centimeters of rain a year, and but there's no trees because it's too windy.
Yeah, the trees just blow right away. You know, it's kind of like you know why the prairies are so. You know, all the mosquitoes just blow to Manitoba, and they congregate there.
I don't know, man. I have experienced plenty of mosquitoes in Alberta.
Oh, yeah. So let's back this up a little. Whoa, what was that? That looked crazy for a second. Blah. It's like
This
high, low, high.
this
Okay.
high north of Hawaii is what's really going to drive these storms because they're riding over the north side of that into the Pacific Northwest and British Columbia.
They cannot go anywhere else, can they? Okay, wait. Sorry. That's this thing when I hit my scroller, it just goes way too far at once. So see, look at this is just like all or nothing. Like, drives me nuts when I'm trying to make a video on using this thing. But yeah, snowfall tonight. That's the story, and I guess we're gonna have to get more into it as we get in the show. I kind of blew on getting through our look. Look at that. That's
You should turn off the particle animation on this. That might help you a little bit.
look at the fantastic run of weather that's going to be coming to the coast. Okay, Frankie is here, I think, and he's almost ready. So I think in that case, it's time to set that down. Make sure Frankie's good to go. Make sure we're good to go. It's 7 p.m. It's time. Are you ready, Frankie? Okay, it's time. Hi, buddy. Good to see you. Good afternoon, Prince George. I'm still getting that right. Good afternoon, Prince George. Good afternoon, Winnipeg. Yeah. Good evening, Kamloops, and hello, viewers on Rogers Television. This is the Comedeorological Report. Comedy plus meteorology equals Comedeorology. It's your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada, and I'm your host, Joey Only, up here in Wells, British Columbia, land of the snow. Once again, it's coming a little bit at least here. Southern BC is going to get slammed. We got all kinds of weather stories. We got special guests. We got the man himself, Frankie McDonald. He's out there in Sydney, Nova Scotia, the star of the show, co-host every week. He's with us, and we will be starting with him in just a couple minutes' time. And we also have Mike McGregor and Justin Ertl from the Weather Center of Manitoba. You've changed the name, and I can't get it. Is that right, Brandon? The Weather Center of Manitoba? How did I screw this up?
I think it's the weather. I believe. Hold on.
How could I screw that up?
Find it here.
It is the Weather Center in Manitoba.
There we go.
It's amateur hour tonight.
It's amateur hour tonight on the show.
Where's Imogen?
She's just showing up right now, Frankie, as a matter of fact. It's the 7th of March is what it is. So if you're hearing this on the radio or seeing us on TV, and we're talking about forecasts, bear in mind, we're not talking about today when we're talking about today, because your today is not our today. We're time traveling. That's what we're doing right now. Okay, showtime. Frankie McDonald, how you doing so far, buddy?
I'm doing great so far. Weather across North America. It's freezing, raining in Nova Scotia right now. It's freezing, raining. It's 1 degree in Sydney, Nova Scotia as of right now. It's going to change over to freezing rain, ice pellets, then snow after that. A little bit of snow. Then it's going to move out the coast. Then it got more rain heading for Ontario. And all across the eastern United States this weekend coming. And next week's going to bring some snow up in northern Ontario. And we're in the rain to Quebec and Val-d'Or, Quebec and all those places. It's snow. Lots of snow up there. Then it got some more snow in places like in interior British Columbia and in Whistler, British Columbia, and all those places as of right now. Then it got cold air and warm air fighting each other. This time of year is going to last for the next few months. Lots of rain, thunderstorms going on in Central America right now. And the rain and lots of rain and thunderstorms going on in Brazil right now, and in southern Brazil, including Amazon rainforest, Colombia, parts of Peru, parts of Ecuador, parts of Bolivia, and all those places. In Colombia, Bolivia, Ecuador, and Peru, and lots of thunderstorms and rain going on right now. In northern Chile, it's really hot and really, really dry right now. And in southern Chile, it's snow up in the mountains and rain. And in the coastal areas in southern Chile right now, their fall doesn't start till March 19th. Up around England right now, you got some cold air in England right now. Then you got some snow up in Spain right now. They got cold air hitting through Spain and Portugal, even parts of Morocco. Because right now, then they got some rain and snow in Italy and Austria and Bosnia and all those places in Germany and France. And we got some showers in Greece and Albania with chance of thunderstorms. They got cold air hitting for Greece too, and Turkey and all those places. Lots of cold air in Norway, Finland, Sweden right now, and Belarus and Moscow, Russia right now. And Libya's warm air, cold air fighting each other in Libya as well. And Western Pacific, weather all across Western Pacific. It's really cold in Japan right now. Lots of storms come off the coast of Japan. They got snow in Sapporo, Hagedale, Japan. They got another storm aimed towards Japan on Monday and Tuesday. It's going to bring some more snow up in northern Japan again.
Oh my
And it got
God.
really cold air in South Korea, North Korea, Vladivostok, Russia. It's so cold in Mongolia right now. Siberia is gradually warming up this time of the year. It's really hot in southern China, like Hong Kong, those places. Lots of thunderstorms and rain going on. Indonesia right now. It's still really, really dry in India, and still really dry in parts of Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Bangladesh, and all those countries. It's still their dry season not over yet. Next month's going to be extremely hot in India. That's their summer starts next month in India. That's their kind of summer is going to get extremely hot temperatures there. And lots of thunderstorms and rain going on in Madagascar, La Reunion, and Mauritius Islands, including parts of Mozambique, and thunderstorms and rain going on in Tanzania, including parts of Kenya, Southern Democratic Republic of Congo, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Angola, and all these places right now. And it's going to be 12-hour daylight, 12-hour darkness in Antarctica soon. Lots of thunderstorms and rain in Papua New Guinea right now in northern Australia. Then it gets a hot air hitting for New Zealand, hot air and cool air fighting each other because their fall starts on March 19th. Daylight savings time begins in Northern Hemisphere on Saturday, March 9th, and Sunday, March 10th. First weekend of April, time falls back in New Zealand.
That's right. It's spring forward weekend, so make sure if you're working a night shift on Saturday night, you get that extra hour of pay that you did not work for. Our panel tonight includes Brandon Hauk, who's a radio man out there in Brooks, Alberta. He's one of the most talented radio weathermen there is, and we're glad to have him every week.
On April 7th to April 8th.
Justin may not be able to come in. I've been trying to get a hold of him, but I think he's busy at the moment, so I'll cover for the Weather Center in Manitoba.
Okay. We'll start this again. So we got Brandon Hauk on the panel.
And what about April 7th, daylight savings time ends in New Zealand?
It ends in New Zealand, Frankie. That's right. I just want to introduce everybody and do station IDs quickly because I forgot. We got Brandon Hauk, radio weatherman, Brooks, Alberta. We got meteorologist Mark Ingalls back with us from Portland, Oregon. So glad to have him, of course. Imogen Cookie Bailey, associate producer. She's down in Victoria, British Columbia. And we got Mike McGregor from Weather Center in Manitoba. Frankie, I don't know if you've met Mike before, but he also has...
Frankie, now nice to meet you.
He also has a show on CKUW 95.9 FM in Winnipeg.
Nice to meet you, man.
And we'll ask
Frankie, a YouTuber from Sydney, Nova Scotia, Canada. There's a big blizzard hitting for St. John's Flame. I did a video yesterday.
We'll show that video. I got that lined up right in a second here, Frankie. Also, you're hearing us on CFR 88.7 FM in Prince George and CFBX 92.5 FM in Kamloops. And hello, viewers on Rogers Television. Thanks for having us on once again. Okay, now we got all that settled. Yes. Does anybody got questions for Frankie McDonald tonight on the panel? Let's open the panel up to some questions for Frankie.
I actually have a question for Frankie.
Yeah.
It looks like you guys are going to get another storm like Sunday or so. What do you think about that for Nova Scotia?
Got to bring snow, rain mixed.
Any freezing rain for you?
Snow rain mix this time on Sunday. A little bit of freezing rain tonight. And this Sunday and Monday, it's going to bring snow and rain mix to Nova Scotia. Like combination of snow and rain. And the temperature is going to be 3 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, excellent. We got more questions for Frankie on the panel. Mike, Frankie, glad now I've introduced you guys. Brandon, you got questions for Frankie this week?
I got a question. That last storm that Winnipeg saw, do you see any more of those storms? I know it's weather pattern right now is El Nino transitioning into a La Nina towards the summer.
We can't
That's
quite
what
hear you or see you, Mike.
Oh, you can't? Can you see me now?
And hear you better, yes.
Okay, question for you, Frankie. Do you see any more snowstorms for Winnipeg like what we saw this past week? I know that the weather pattern is transitioning from a El Nino to a La Nina, and I normally expect that when that happens, there's going to be wild weather fluctuations.
And
So what's
on
your thought?
Tuesday, there's another mix of precipitation and forecast in Winnipeg, Manitoba. The temperature is going to be above freezing next week for them.
What do you see for high temperatures?
Wow. Night temperature is going to be around -2 to -3 before wind chill.
Do you see like any plus temperatures? Then is I'm starting to look forward to spring weather, and I really want to have that. So
They'll be transitioning to vertical equinox.
you see like warmer weather coming?
And got a little bit warm, mild weather, and it's going to bring some snow rain mix in Winnipeg next week. Then it's going to bring combination of snow rain in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Thanks, Frankie.
Yeah, thank you, Frankie. We'll be talking to Mike some more in just a minute's time. Everybody want to see Frankie's videos? You know, I got something special for you lined up tonight because it's the first time, Frankie, you've met Mike. We got some of the first Frankie videos he's ever made tonight on the channel for you. You guys ready for this?
Yes.
Yes, I'm ready.
Very excited.
All right, here we go. Some of the first, I got to move your faces. There we go. Some of the first Frankie McDonald. Nice evening before it rains on Friday. When was this video, Frankie?
October 2011. This is my own news station live from Sydney, Nova Scotia. Right now, weather is nice and cool, and it's going to rain in Sydney, Nova Scotia on Friday. People are enjoying their nice weather. So far, so good. Lots of people are enjoying their nice weather today. People going for walks. Kids are on the door, explore rides. At Neville Park and Wendy Pier, lots of kids are enjoying their nice weather so far. And it's going to rain on Friday, and people are enjoying their nice weather. Best of luck to you. This is my own news station live from Sydney, Nova Scotia right now. Kids are enjoying their nice weather, going for walks and stuff like that. Kids are enjoying their nice day, going for walks, enjoying their sun today because it's nice out. And only got one more day for nice weather before it rains on Friday. Lots of kids are enjoying their nice day today.
These are good videos.
And look at that, he's got a lava lamp there, Frankie. So these are the first videos Frankie ever put up on his channel where he's talking.
That was in Dogs and Wolves channel. The plasma ball.
Cool plasma ball. Yeah, before that he's got some videos where he's some pictures of your street and stuff. These are the first time Frankie got in front of the camera on the Dogs and Wolves channel.
It looks so nice.
You still have that thing, Frankie?
Yes.
That's awesome. It's a plasma ball. When you touch it, for the radio listeners, it makes kind of makes like a lightning kind of looking thing. And he's got a lava lamp there. There's a lava lamp.
Those plasma balls were a big deal like 20 years ago. I remember seeing them like every time I went to Target.
Pittsburgh Penguins going in the playoffs for sure this year, and Pittsburgh Penguins is going in the playoffs for sure this year. Best of luck to you.
There we are, yeah. Sidney Crosby's from near Sydney, Nova Scotia, you know it?
Old Harbor, outside of Halifax, Dartmouth.
Ah, right. And this is the first video of Frankie spinning. Frankie's spinning around. How'd you get the idea to do that, Frankie?
That was my own idea.
Oh, and there you go. It's freezing on me. Okay.
This is Frankie down my old TV station live to Sydney, Nova Scotia. Major blizzards head towards St. John's to Plain on Friday, March 8, 2024. It's going to start on Thursday, March 7th during evening hours. It's going to bring 50 plus centimeters of snow. Winds are going to be really strong. It's going to cause blow and drift of snow, reduced visibility, dangerous or treacherous sharp conditions. It's going to bring a whole lot of snow in St. John's to Plain and surrounding areas. It's going to bring blow and snow, drift of snow, really dangerous driving conditions of blow and drift of snow, really dangerous driving conditions. It's going to bring blow, snow, drifting snow, white oak conditions, reduced visibilities, and dangerous and treacherous driving conditions. And streets, roads, highways, the Trans-Canada Highway will be snow covered in the St. John's to Plain and the surrounding areas as well. It's going to bring a lot of snow. Winds going to be really strong in greater St. John's to Plain and the surrounding areas and around Avalon Peninsula. There'll be big waves splash on beach shores, St. John's to Plain and the surrounding areas as well. People in St. John's to Plain being prepared. Have your winter boots ready with your jackets ready. Hats and gloves, scarf, and ski pants is ready. Order your pizzas and order your Chinese food. Buy cases, especially buy cases to go. Do your grocery shopping. Don't wait till the last minute. Do it right now. Make sure if your smartphone, cell phones, laptops, tablets, search every 3G, 4G, 5G, and now T ready as well. When you drive a car, take your time, drive a car, slow down, so don't get in a car accident. When you go for a walk, be very careful walking so you don't slip and fall. Make sure if your furnace is in heat pumps ready and turn on your furnace to keep those warm. Drink lots of green tea, white tea, red tea. Drink lots of green tea, keep warm. And for extra blankets ready, keep warm as well. Make sure if your shovels, snow scoops, snow blowers, snow plows, salt trucks ready as well. If anybody looks at St. John's to Plain, be prepared for major blizzard on Friday, March 8, 2024. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in a major blizzard. Stay warm, be safe.
And this is the last storm.
Head towards Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Saturday, March 2nd, 2024. It's going to bring up to 20 plus centimeters or more, including North Battleford, Prince Albert, and Yorkton, and Lewiston, and Saskatchewan. It's going to bring blow, drift, and snow, reduced visibility, dangerous, treacherous side conditions. It's going to bring howling winds, blow, snow, drift, and snow, really dangerous, treacherous side conditions in Saskatoon and the surrounding areas as well. It's going to bring big hills, snow drifts, and streets, roads, highways, and yellow here, Highway 16 will be snow covered. It's going to bring blow, snow, drift, and snow, reduced visibility, dangerous and treacherous side conditions in Saskatoon and surrounding areas as well. It's going to bring a lot of snow in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and surrounding areas as well. It's going to bring snow drifts, heavy winds, blow, snow drifts, and snow as well. People in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, be prepared. Have winter boots ready, with your jackets ready, hats, gloves, scarves, and ski pants ready. Order your pizzas and order your Chinese food, buy kids, especially buy kids, go. Do your grocery shopping, don't wait till the last minute. Do it right now, make sure your smartphone, cell phone, laptops, tablets, search every 3G, 4G, 5G, now TV, rent, so. When you drive car, take a drive from car, slow down, so don't get in car accidents. When you go for walk, be very good walking tips off to the fall. Make sure your furnace and heat pumps ready. Turn on your furnace and heat pumps to keep those warm. Drink lots of green tea, white tea, red tea. Drink lots of green tea, keep warm. And for extra blankets, ready to keep warm as well. Make sure your shovel, snow scoop, snow blower, snow plow, salt trucks ready as well. If anybody lives in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, be prepared for major snowstorm on Saturday, March 2nd, 2024. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in major snowstorm. Stay warm, be safe.
I would say Frankie probably nailed that forecast on the nail. So we got Mike McGregor to talk to us here from Weather Center in Manitoba, and he'll fill us in on that in a second. I'm going to go to Brandon Hauk first because I think I'm going to let Brandon Hauk conduct the interview with Mike for a few minutes as well when you're done your piece there, Brandon. So Brandon Hauk, the Brandon Hauk Report. Brandon Hauk.
Yes. Yes, the Brandon Hauk Report. Here we go. Yes. So this past week here, we've had some pretty impressive snowstorms sweep their way through the prairies, and especially through the weekend, and a secondary system, especially midweek here. And we've had some pretty bitterly cold temperatures across Alberta. Like some areas had, especially last couple of nights in the east central portions of the province, overnight lows in the mid to low minus 30s, and the wind chills feeling like minus 40 in a few locations. And now that's starting to move off as we go through the next couple of days. So looking back at the snowfall totals, looks like Calgary got at least 20 centimeters. The Edmonton area, they had that 20 to 30 centimeter event last week, and then they got a little more snow just the last couple of days as well. So it's been, yeah, it definitely has been a Well, I'd say March coming in like a lion for everybody here in the prairie provinces, and now we're changing that pattern dramatically thanks to the Pacific storm systems out in the Pacific. There's like two big storm systems out there, and now we're going to see that westerly flow start to kick in. We already saw that westerly flow start to kick in today with the daytime highs just getting above the melting point in a few locations, but some areas still in that temperature inversion, keeping that temperature down just a little bit, but eventually, we'll start seeing those temperatures start to rebound quite nicely for the next couple of days, with the daytime highs pushing and potentially double digits by the weekend here in southern Alberta, with the downsloping winds coming off the foothills there. And it looks like we're going to be in this nice warm pattern, the upper ridge taking over for the foreseeable future. So it's going to be some splendid weather coming up for us here in Alberta. And eventually that warmer air will get into Saskatchewan. And then eventually that warmer air will eventually get into Manitoba as well. And that's where I'm going to head off to Manitoba, where we have Michael McGregor on from the Weather Center of Manitoba. I know they changed the name already. And I know you've been witnessing those storms. And, well, how did the Weather Center of Manitoba get started?
Justin started.
You might have to turn your volume up a little bit.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, not really. No, something happened with your volume there.
Before you went to make your burritos, the volume was great, but now it seems to be not great.
Well, we can come back, I guess. All right.
You there, Mike? Testing, testing.
All right.
I think we. Can you hear us, Mike?
Ooh.
There must have been technical difficulties on Mike's side.
Looks like it. Anyways, I'll go to this other story I have to share from that I found out today. And this is a new study that was found out earlier today, that apparently 25 million to 20 million years ago, there was a change in human ancestry. And apparently humans back in that age had tails.
Some humans today have tails when they're born, but that's pretty rare.
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
Let's try this
Imagine having
again.
to put pants on with a tail.
Let's try this again real quickly. Mike in Winnipeg, can you hear us? No, he's frozen. Okay, we've lost him.
Lost Mike.
Okay,
There must have been computer difficulties on Mike's side.
Looks like it.
I think he.
Mike has to reboot the computer.
I think he's coming back in now.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm sorry I got kicked offline.
Uh-oh.
So getting back to your question, Brandon, the Weather Center Manitoba started back in 2013. Justin had a simple idea of creating a weather page for people to follow weather alerts and information in Manitoba. And with his help, he contacted me in 2014, and I joined the team. I've been on the team since 2014. It's been awesome. We've covered severe weather events. We've covered severe winter storms. We covered the Yolanda tornado in 2018. We have about 150,000 people from Manitoba now following us. So we've grown to a pretty large community, and we're still growing. I'm based in Winnipeg. Justin is based in Brandon. And the community there has been awesome. People report weather on conditions in their area. We've got people up north. We've got people from other parts of the world following us. And it started with a simple idea with Justin contacting me, I guess. And we needed, I always thought the Weather Network hasn't really been following weather information as much. And I think that's part of the problem. So I think if it wasn't for Justin, we wouldn't be getting weather coverage as good in Manitoba as we are right now. So
All right, that is awesome. Yes. And so yeah, you've got to witness that couple of last big snowstorms in southern Manitoba. And I know oh I is Justin hopping on here? We'll have to see here. I want to talk about the Brandon situation there, but we'll talk about Winnipeg's storm. Oh, says the
And
okay.
one thing we were
Let's
having
try to get
trouble,
Justin here.
we were having trouble
back.
hearing you too, Mike.
Yeah, I'm using a laptop. Maybe I can put
Yeah, it's like cutting out and scratching now. It's testing again. Can you test it again?
I'll switch over to my phone.
Yeah, okay, try that. Yeah, something's going on there.
I'll stay on here and then I'll come on Zoom on my phone.
Sounds good.
Okay.
We'll,
right.
we'll
We'll
run the
come back.
show. We'll run the show 2 minutes extra tonight so that we can make up for space that we will cut out editing for a radio broadcast. Okay, while we're waiting for him, then we'll come back to Brandon because he's hopefully getting Justin Ortel on. Mark Engels, he's been waiting patiently, and Imogen, she's been waiting patiently too. Parade of Storms is coming in to the Pacific. Parade of Storms.
Yes. So are you queuing me or are you queuing Imogen?
I don't know.
We show them.
I'm really off my game all of a sudden.
We show them.
Well, Imogen, if you want to go, I can go after you.
This has been an interesting week for crazy, unexpected, unpredictable weather. And in true unpredictable Ring of Fire Pacific Coast fashion, we got hit with a 10-minute hailstorm. That was delightful. Roads were immediately frozen with patches of black ice everywhere underneath sheets of hail with extremely low visibility. So as I'm sure you can imagine, there was a lot of vehicles sliding all over the road because everyone was caught off guard with it. And for everyone who's about to say it's because none of y'all have winter tires, most of us do. So cruising around in the work truck with winter tires, just came out of having to tune up and getting all the maintenance done, and we were sliding all over the road, near collisions everywhere. One of the upsides to it, however, was that because this is Victoria, no one really drives over 20. So when we're all sliding, we're sliding very, very slowly.
Well, and truthfully, when you get that hail surface, it is really tough to drive on.
It happened so fast. Like we had a massive temperature drop, and then the hail hit really like so quickly that we had black ice that was hidden underneath all the hail on the road. So it's just a double whammy of nightmare driving conditions. And then the next day we had like about 20 minutes of snow, just crazy heavy snow for about 20 minutes. And then within an hour, it was gone. There's a few areas today where there's little bits where it kind of collected thick enough that there's bits of ice. But within an hour of it coming down yesterday, it was all gone. But we had like a total whiteout for a little bit. And then just all of a sudden, it was like nothing happened. It was me. I'm pretty sure that someone had stepped on a leprechaun and it cursed us or something. So whatever the cause, I'm going to attribute it to leprechauns.
I think
Leprechauns.
so. Yeah, you know, those guys, they should be at their leper colonies.
Right,
not...
right off the coast from here, there was a leper colony, one little island. I don't remember what it's called right now, but if you look it up, everyone watching this has the Google, so you can all look it up. There was a leper colony just off the coast on one of those little islands.
There is still a leper colony in Hawaii.
Right.
I forget what island it's on, but basically those people did not want to reintegrate into society because of the issues that they had with leprosy, and so it's mostly elderly people living there.
Excellent. Okay, so here's the good news. We have Justin Ortel has showed up, and Mike McGregor's back with hopefully a better sounding. And so, Brandon,
can you guys hear me?
we can hear you perfectly now. Yes, Brandon Hoke, take it away from me for a minute. Introduce these guys.
Okay,
let's do this.
We'll start from the top again. So, welcome to the Comedeorology Report. This is the show how much the weather sucks in Canada, and it sure did in Manitoba this week. No doubt about that. And so before we get into that, the two storm systems, tell us a little bit about the Manitoba Weather, which is now changed to the Weather Center of Manitoba now. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so I'll go. We became an official business just a few months ago here in Manitoba. We're now fully with the province, so I can say we're actually a business now, which is exciting. I launched it actually myself, just the Facebook page, over 10 years ago now in 2013. I got a little laptop for Christmas from my parents, and I always check the weather models every day and had a huge interest in the weather, and decided to start off that Facebook page, and it's just really blown up ever since, and just reached the 115,000 Facebook followers mark, and working on getting our own website up and running here by the summer, and really starting to bring in some profits from something that I just had a dream of as a kid. So it's pretty cool.
Wasn't it 150,000, Justin?
115,000.
Okay, I had the numbers off then.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure we'll get there shortly. It's not taking long to get that count
closely mirrors Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers, except we don't have 115,000 followers or members in the group because people in BC don't nearly care about weather like they do in Manitoba.
Are there even 150,000 people in northern BC?
Yeah, almost.
That's funny.
Oh, that's good stuff. And now
I also want to mention too that I'm also part of the team of the Weather Center of Manitoba. I've been a part of the team since about 2014. Justin let me on, and I've been trying my best to cover weather events, and it's been encouraging learning more about weather in Manitoba every year and every day. It's been kind of difficult forecasting sometimes. I'm like thinking, okay, is there going to be a major winter storm, or is this one going to bust? Like 2022, we were supposed to get a major storm in Winnipeg. Yeah. We got nothing, and everyone else around us got slammed. So I think there's a Winnipeg shield that's going. But
yeah, no, we're happy to have you on the team. We're trying to. I'm from the Brandon area, Brandon, Manitoba, kind of southwestern Manitoba. So having Mike get to cover that southeastern part of the province is key as well, just so we have coverage across most of southern Manitoba. And yeah, it's good to have you.
Thank you.
That's awesome. And so now you've also got to witness that big storm this past week. Two big storms, actually. The one yesterday, and then the blizzard that happened earlier in the week. I know Winnipeg didn't get hit as hard on the Sunday to Monday storm system. They had that freezing drizzle. But talk a little bit about your blizzard experience over there in Brandon earlier this week.
It was pretty crazy. We just started off the day with probably just 2 or 3 centimeters of snow, and then kind of through the noon hour into the early afternoon, we had a lot of freezing rain and kind of ice pellets, and it was a lot of mixed in stuff. And then once we got to about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, it just came down with heavy snow. You couldn't even see across the street just in the city of Brandon itself. And then me and my friend, he also helps with the group a little bit too. He's got a truck now, so we were traveling out through the city, and motorists were stuck everywhere in their cars with their just front wheel or back wheel drive. And so we helped tow a sports car that had tried to go out in the storm. I don't know why they tried to go out, but it was pretty fun. We towed them 2 blocks right in front of their house, and we said, "You're going to stay put there," and they stayed there the rest of the night, I think. I think they might even still be there because the city of Brandon's still trying to plow the streets, but it's getting cleared. We had actually a Brandon Transit bus was in the ditch. We saw too up by the Trans-Canada Highway that day, so they shut down bus services. And yeah, it was quite the storm. Got about 30 centimeters.
People must have been losing their heads.
Yeah, it was crazy. It just got so much national eyes on the system too, because I had an interview with CBC National News there, and they wanted to know what was all happening too. And so it was quite the system for sure.
In this spring coming up, storm chasers, tornado chasers, gearing up to chase tornadoes and large hail once again.
Yeah, that's for sure.
If
I
I
just
get my beginner's license before the summer, I'm probably gonna go chasing with Justin. I'm gonna have to figure something out because I haven't gone chasing with this guy yet.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
So we want to come back to you guys, and we're going to talk to you for a great length of time. But we haven't had really a chance to talk to Mark yet. So Mark Ingalls,
Okay.
your partner in crime, Chris Calais,
Yes.
says he can't make it. He says going to hit the hay tonight. I'm working tomorrow morning, bright and early. And then he says my wife was sitting next to me when I tuned into the Comedeorological report. So I don't know what that says about our content because she up and left.
That's okay. My wife is asleep, and she is next to me.
But he says he'll be here. He'll be here next week for
Yeah.
our Heat Wave progress,
for
and
him.
Euro's
Aim
coughing
for
up 21 degrees Celsius for Portland next week.
He's saying 21. Well, I guess maybe, but
The Euro. The Euro's
the
coughing.
Euro. Yeah, okay. I could see it, but maybe. So, just want to lead off by saying that the Portland Winterhawks are still leading the league for the WHL. Oh, and my daughter wants to show you all her tornado that she drew. Don't know if you can see that.
No,
You
no,
definitely
no,
can't
no,
see it
no.
on the radio.
No.
But she's
That's
going to
pretty
tell me I'm
cool.
wrong, and this is life with a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
So,
I've been
all
there
right.
twice.
So, 3-year-old tornadoes aside, the storm train. What a night, guys! The storm train is coming. We were looking at it earlier. Yeah, seriously. Roll up the hype train because there's going to be some good mountain snow for Southwest BC. It's not going to completely clear the deficit that they have for snowfall, but it's gonna bring some snow. Speaking about Ring of Fire, Imogen, there were some earthquakes in Washington this week. One outside of Seattle, and then 2 on the Olympic Peninsula. The 2 on the Olympic Peninsula were in the Juan de Fuca plate, which is under the North American plate. So that's pretty interesting.
That's awesome.
I wanted to ask you guys. I didn't get a chance to tell my story about the storm in Winnipeg, but if you guys wanted to maybe do that at the end, that's all right.
We're gonna come back to you in a second. I just want to get meteorologist Mark
Okay.
a few minutes here.
Okay, so after the train of storm, which lasts through about Wednesday or so, we're looking at a ridge pattern setting up over Western North America. That's going to make us pretty warm. Like Chris was saying offline, some models throwing out 21°C in Portland. Obviously a bit cooler up in Vancouver and even further north, but it does look warm and dry, and we'll be losing some snowpack. And like Brandon said, this is kind of going to be in for the foreseeable future. We're talking about at least a week, maybe longer. I'm sure we'll come back to a rainy phase here on the West Coast before summer really sets in, but it's not going to happen in the foreseeable future. A weak nor'easter is tracking from Atlanta on Saturday to Frankie Land on Sunday. He talked a little bit about that, getting some rain and snow and maybe some freezing rain in between. Widespread snow in New Brunswick and eastern Quebec.
That's where Monica is, in Bonaventure, Quebec. That's where Monica Beaulieu lives.
Awesome. Yes. So maybe they'll get some snow, and Newfoundland as well for all the Newfies that are listening, all 3 of them probably. And then Manitoba is going to be warm. I'll let our Manitoba weather experts talk about that more, but I saw a weather model output of 10°C for Winnipeg on Monday. So that'd be pretty nice for them, I bet. And then, as is common with strong ridging in the western half of the continent, the eastern half is it looks like it's going to have some strong troughing. This upper level low is going to kind of set up around the Hudson Bay and kind of impact all of eastern Canada and northeastern United States. It doesn't look like it's going to produce a lot of snow necessarily. I don't see any strong signal for a specific snowstorm for Manitoba or Ontario, but it's something to keep an eye on. These are kind of the setups where that is possible. But like I said, no strong signal. That's all I have tonight.
Okay. And we were talking about, Mark and I this week a lot about El Nino fading and La Nina coming in. Any quick thoughts on that, Mark? Because I've just made some pretty bold predictions, and people are saying, Joey's saying that maybe it's not going to be a bad fire season. Well, I didn't say that because we had a heat dome that blew everyone's mind during the last La Nina. But
Yeah, 49.5 C there in British Columbia. That's warmer than has been seen in Washington and Oregon. That was Canada's deadliest natural disaster was a heat wave during a La Nina year. And of course, the town, I think it's Lytton, BC, that hit 49 and a half. Lytton. Well, they burned to the ground the next day. So that was in a La Nina year. Just because conditions are favorable for a better fire season doesn't mean that it's guaranteed. And also, even a good fire season has fires. And so, like Frankie says, you need to be prepared either way because, if there's only 3 big fires in the province and one of them's at your house, it doesn't matter how many fires there were in the province. So you need to be prepared. But El Nino is starting to fade. We're already seeing lowered temperatures. El Nino refers to sea surface temperatures in the Pacific near the equator.
That's going to cause hurricanes to increase in the Atlantic, especially down Florida and the Gulf Coast and eastern United States and eastern Canada, even Ontario.
Yeah, that's true, actually. It's transitioning into a La Nina that alters the wind pattern over North America and the North Atlantic. And so that does bring an increased risk for hurricanes along the entire eastern seaboard from Nova Scotia all the way down to Florida and Texas.
We're like something to mention because I did research El Nino and La Nina phases. Some pretty extensive research on them actually, and what I found that there was troughing more on the west coast and a lot more ridging in eastern Canada, like in Super El Nino of 97, transition to 1998, 99. La Nina, there was more fires in eastern Canada and southern eastern United States. And it does increase the number of severe weather events over the northern plains too. I've noticed an uptick years following El Ninos into La Ninas, like 2010, 2016, those years, there was an uptick in the number of severe weather events over the northern prairies, northern plains, southern prairies. So we might see that. Justin and I talked about that, and he mentioned that it could be a possibility summer 2016 repeat for us.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to segue, back over.
I just wanted to say the sea surface temperatures are cooling west of the Galapagos Islands. We're seeing the cool water come up from below. This is called upwelling, and that is what is triggering the start of our El Nino collapse. And the last note is it looks like, you may see a chart that shows the sea surface temperatures, and it may look like El Nino is fading rapidly into a La Nina. And if you just look at one chart, seeing that sharp drop on the chart is going to look like a big deal. But going from strong El Ninos to La Ninas the next winter is actually a pretty common occurrence. This happened 97 to 98, I think, or maybe 98 to 99 or something like that. This happened a couple of times in the 70s. So this is a normal thing to go from a strong El Nino into a La Nina over the warm season in the northern hemisphere.
So Mike and Justin, Winnipeg Center.
Even another type of La Nina that can cause lots of typhoons in Japan as well.
Justin and Mike from Weather Center in Manitoba. Good way to segue back over to you. Could be more active Northern Plains weather this year for sure. Mike, you got a show on CKUW. Let's pitch that quickly before we talk to you about the weather you just had.
It's not really weather related. I'm just gonna quickly say it's still a show. It's electronic music, and I tend to focus on the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s sound of trance and techno and progressive trance. And there's a lot newer like EDM that's coming out, so I play a lot of that. And I have a weather segment that I do about 1 hour in, and then talk a little bit about how things are going in weather scene here. And I sometimes have guests come in. It's a really good show, and it's on Tuesday at 9 p.m. And I'm working on reaching my 50th episode for that. So
nice work. It's really important that we have Joe Stover come on sometimes. It's important we have other programmers from the radio stations that we broadcast on.
I also have autism too, so it does make it harder for me to kind of get out there. So this is a really awesome opportunity to have that. Mental health and mental health awareness is immense because I've dealt with the periods of depression and anxiety having autism, and I want to thank you guys for having me on.
No, we totally get that. In fact, everybody on this panel, except for maybe Mark, he's perfect, is in some ways.
You want to tell my wife that?
We all have some diagnosis, and I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
You can tell just by how this show has gone so far. So, what was the storm like for you last week, Mike? And Justin, I haven't said hi to you personally yet, so it's nice to have you on the show. So
I'll let Justin go ahead first.
We got about 20 minutes still left. We can really talk to you guys, and if people on the panel want to ask you questions, let's do it because we got you on the show.
Yeah, perfect.
Justin talk for a little bit. I've been talking, taking away from attention from everyone, so.
Oh, that's fine. Speaking of La Nina coming back for maybe the next winter and maybe the next couple winters, it's good because this winter's really sucked. Brandon was saying off the top here that the weather sucks and the winter storm has sucked, but I like winter. If you know me, I take snowflake pictures and I just love winter, and it's probably my favorite season. So we could take a few more snowstorms if you ask me.
Justin, I've got a question for you. What do you think about the snow there in Western Ontario and the implications for fire season there this summer?
Yeah, well, I haven't looked at that much. Is it less than normal? I think they haven't had as much snow either, like Manitoba, right?
Yeah, they're about in the same boat as you. My dad moved to War Road, Minnesota, which is like where Minnesota and Manitoba and Ontario meet, and there's no snow up there.
Yeah, I know they got a drought down in the States. They're kind of that, I guess, Twin Cities area is like in a drought. They have been for the last 8 to 10 months or something, I was hearing. And I know even though we're going into that new weather pattern, I think the fire season could still be bad. Northern Alberta, kind of the northern prairies, is still pretty dry. And they're really watching for the fire season there. I think they're going to start kind of a little early this year. So, and actually Banff National Park, I don't know if any of you guys saw that. There was actually wildfire, I think maybe a few weeks back or a month ago now. There was a fire already in Banff National Park. So
I think that is so I've made some BC predictions, but that is sort of the other side of the mountains, right? That, it's hard to account for. Even if we have some big change coastally, does that mean we're going to have big changes up in the Northwest Territories and places like that? I ended my fire season. I don't know if you know this. I fight wildfire. That's what I do. I'm a crew leader.
Okay.
I started my season in the Peace region in BC in the very beginning of May, and I ended my season at the very end of September in the Peace region in BC. And things were still burning. And we know from having looked at heat signature maps and from reports and from signs of smoke that there's zombie fires burning out there. It's super dry deep. So, my general prediction I made on my video this week was that we're probably in for an early start no matter what.
Yeah.
Right? Whether we get a switch to rainy or cooler conditions, if we have a significant percentage of the summer where we're below that 30 degrees Celsius and we're above, 30, we're in the 50 to 60% humidity range, fires are not going to be able to burn very aggressively. And what we know from past years where this kind of lines up with is there has been a lot of fire starts in some of these years that are off years. But that doesn't necessarily mean fires take and run. So that's in my video, I looked at 1991, a year that might possibly be pretty comparable. But what I think, only 24,000 hectares burned in British Columbia, but there was a lot of fire starts that year. So, that balance can, come summertime, change.
I did a little bit of research actually on forest fire seasons, particularly like when you get El Niños, it just heats things up. Like I saw overall global temperatures have gone up about a degree or two, and they're hotter than last year. That trend may continue. And I remember 2016 coming out of that last super El Nino, 2015, there was really bad. Fort McMurray got hit really bad by that wildfire. I just hope that it doesn't get to that point this year. But with the zombie fires going on, this is a trend that I don't normally see in winter. I remember growing up as a kid, and I don't remember any forest fires happening in the winter months. So I think we might have a bad fire season. Whether that affects our storm season here in the prairies is yet to be determined. So that's why I look at 1 month out versus 3 or 4 months.
Well,
Actually, sorry to say, but that's a good point. When it's really bad wildfire season, the storm season seems to be definitely not as active because the forest fire smoke really does seem to kind of choke out the storms, and you just don't get that heating that you normally would on like a clear, sunny summer day when you got that thick smoke, blowing those westerly winds across the prairies here in the kind of eastern part. So I hope that the wildfires aren't too bad. We're hoping for a good storm season here in Manitoba because we've been nowhere near the average of, I think, 8 or 9 twisters we get. Supposed to be the average here in Manitoba per season, and we haven't been anywhere near that the last 2 seasons. So I think
if we look at 2016 as being somewhat of a down year in the interior British Columbia for fires, it was not a down year for Fort McMurray on the other side of the mountains, right? So
for sure.
When we say it's going to be a bad fire season, it's for where? Somewhere it's going to be.
Ebb and flows for sure, yeah.
Somewhere it's going to be. So yeah, talking about tornadoes and storm chasing, some of the most spectacular storms I've seen in the prairies were in the Brandon, Manitoba area.
Winnipeg
got some really good storms there.
Yeah,
I'm sure you got some stories.
Yeah, well, I do. I could probably talk for about an hour, but last year I intercepted a supercell in North Winnipeg, and that thing, I tell you, was bad. I went about 5 blocks south of me, and there were trees shredded on the road. There were signs blown over. People said that there were trees knocked over on some streets, and it was like, geez, I missed this by like 10 blocks.
That was a bad day for sure.
Yeah, it was. And they said there was a couple of funnel clouds sighted over Winnipeg at that time. So I mean, we're not nearly there, but we've been slightly below average for tornadoes. And with Brandon being in primary for storms, I always watch what's happening out west of me before that. At nighttime, like, oh geez, this is coming my way. Justin's having so much fun. I miss out on it, but I look forward to seeing what's ahead for this year.
Yeah, for sure. That southwestern corner has kind of been less active the last few years. We've actually been seeing a lot of more activity further north, kind of north of Riding Mountain, kind of Russell east towards the lakes. So I want to see.
Beausejour last summer, they got hit by a tornado or something.
Yeah.
I saw it was like 12 to 14 feet. Trees were knocked over.
Yeah, we were actually storm chasing that one all the way from Brandon. We did about like a 900 something K day traveling from Brandon up towards Arborg and then down towards Winnipeg and then back to Brandon. It was like a big circle we did, but we never ended up seeing that twister. But I
got to see the supercell developing, and that thing looked wild, man.
Yeah,
we were looking at it. The whole thing was spinning when I was on the highway 101 Winnipeg, and I was like, geez, I got lucky because we were coming out of Birds Hill at that time. But
yeah,
I will probably get more of that this year. Justin, what's your thoughts on the storm season ahead?
Yeah, well, I think it's because we're transitioning from different weather patterns. I think it could spice up the storm season here across the prairies and the eastern prairies. I hope it's a good season, but obviously, in hopes that it's a good storm season, we hope that obviously it's going to hit rural areas, farm fields. We don't want it to be hitting city areas. That's an issue, but yeah, we're hoping, like I said earlier, we're going to hopefully launch our website this summer and hopefully really kind of ramp up our forecasting and that. So, yeah, I really look forward to the summer season. And now we have that last couple of good snowstorms, so we should have some good moisture going into the spring. I was worried it was going to be kind of a drought and weren't going to have a lot of storm juice, as we call it, but it's kind of came up the last week or two, so happy with that.
Our snow here is about ankle deep now. We had like 0 snow last week, so we're quite fortunate, I think. And getting caught in that storm earlier this week, it was kind of wild. I couldn't see downtown. Normally I could see downtown heading from St. James. So
Lots of
we
whiteout.
definitely got something good finally.
Yeah.
That means that hail's different than sleet and freezing rain. Hail comes from severe thunderstorms. When they have a big cumulus clouds, the raindrop goes up draft, it freezes, then it keeps going up there and adds more layers of water, turns to ice. Then once it gets too heavy, then it falls onto the ground.
Yes.
Does that. I was telling the guys this last week about how one of the times I've been a musician for much of my life. The last 5 years I haven't really been
That
playing.
means freezing rain is like it's like ice pellets, like hailstones, like falling rocks.
Oh yeah.
So I found myself playing at the Brandon Folk Festival in 2017, and we had
cool.
Joey, can you be our weatherman? I was like, yes, we do have tornado systems over in the Saskatchewan side. With tornadoes have already touched down today. We'll keep an eye on the storm, and so there was at 10 o'clock at night. I could see in the distance just lightning coming and looking just as crazy as anything. And I was sitting there in Brandon, where the folk festival is, right in the middle of town there, and there's the agricultural building. And that morning I woke up and all the flags in the agricultural building were pointing west, and I was like, "Oh, it's coming today!" Getting all excited.
Yeah, east wind.
Finally, it's coming, and then I finally go to the stage and shut it down. And it's we got about 10 minutes before the front starts to roll in, and so everyone took cover, and then they went into one of the agricultural plexes, and it rained so hard. We didn't get tornadoes that night, but it rained so hard that there was flash floods and pooling.
Yeah,
Brandon, Manitoba, where storms hit.
Love it. Yeah. We seem to get a lot of squall lines come through here. Like we get like those supercells west of us, and then it all merges into this big bow echo and overnight, and we get some really good overnight light shows and bow echo wind. It's crazy.
That's another thing I saw in 2010 when I was in Brandon, Manitoba, was a nighttime storm. We parked outside of town, and there was so much lightning. I've seen this a few times, especially because I grew up near the Great Lakes. So much lightning that the next day my eyes hurt.
Yeah,
I could barely drive.
I love it.
Down Texas and those places in central states to get golf balls and softball or even grapefruit-sized hail.
Put on your helmet.
Me and my dad were caught in a big storm in 2011 off Highway 67. We were intercepting it by Stonewall. I thought it was going to miss Winnipeg, but I'm like, oh geez. The minute that we saw it building south, we were out of there. We drove right into it. We couldn't see the highway. My dad had to actually like open the door, and we were in the middle of the highway. So we were kind of dumb to leave a bunch of chasers, past a bunch of chasers. We should have just stayed with them. And then last year in 2022, I woke up like 2 a.m. The lightning was just like frequent. Like I've never seen lightning that fast. And it hit with ferocity. Like Winnipeg's been hit by some pretty big storms too. Like
no time for darkness between flashes, Just
yeah.
7 a.m. On October 10th, we got hit by a big storm. It was the squall that came out from the States. That thing just raced. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of flooding down our street. We didn't get hail, but I've had hail here before, and trust me, I Justin, you've probably seen golf ball sized hail, but I haven't yet.
Yeah, I haven't. Probably the biggest hail I've seen is maybe ping pong ball sized. Here in Manitoba, we're very low, so it takes a while for that hail to reach the ground here. So a lot of melting happens before we get that. So we don't get major hail here usually, like Alberta does per se. But
yeah, Brandon and I have had some stories about hail. We've had these conversations on the show many times. The hailstorm I saw in Alberta, Brandon gets to live it all the time. But this shows the fundamental difference between British Columbians and Manitobans. Is at a folk festival in British Columbia when a bad thunderstorm came in. I was like, you gotta shut the festival down. Someone's gonna get killed by friggin' lightning. And they're like, well, we'll ask the musicians. I'm like, and then the guy on stage is like, no, it's fine. It'll just blow over. And the lightning is hitting the mountain with a 2-second thunder count. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
I'm like, yeah, and the crowd's dancing. The hippies are going, yay, in the mud. And I'm like literally losing my mind. And then you go to Brandon, Manitoba. We're like, hey, Joey, we know you're a weather guy. Can you keep an eye on what's going on and shut us down? And then when you're like, shut it down, everyone in Manitoba is like, yeah, we better shut it down.
We know our stuff here.
You know,
It's funny. I was at the Red River X in 2022, and they didn't shut the rides down. They kept them going. There was a severe storm popped up right over top of us. People were getting soaked. Their cell phones were getting soaked. They didn't stop the rides till the lightning was happening, and I was like
But
thinking,
that's carnies. You don't expect carnies to do the right thing. They're trying to make money, man. They don't care about.
and they're gonna steal your bikes.
They don't even care if other carnies get hit by lightning. They're just like, there goes Don. Well, good. I didn't like him anyways.
That's funny.
That's true. On the Weather Network during that flooding, and they're like, "That's at the Red River X."
My dad was a carny, and I hate him.
Yeah.
You know that there is something to be said. You know, here in the West, people are weather aware, but they are not weather aware when it comes to severe thunderstorms and stuff. You know, people here know all about wildfires, know all about the snow, know all about the low pressure systems, but you stick a thunderbolt in front of them and they just
Complacent. We love
no
it.
effing clue.
Yeah. Oh, I've had this on fires where I'm like, everyone, step away from the hose lay. There's like a 3 kilometer hose lay going through the forest on top of a mountain where lightning started a fire because it hits there often.
Yeah. Oh man.
And it hits, and all of you would get fried. And people are like, wow, really? I'm like,
I have so many weather stories that I could probably compile a list. I would say though that having a couple of close calls with tornadoes inside city limits has scared me. Back in 2013, before I joined Manitoba Weather Center, we had a rotated wall cloud go down our street on St. James. And I was like, oh geez, this better not drop something because it was over our street. And I legit saw it weekend, like I guess it after it went east of us, but I still kind of like thinking like people aren't aware about thunderstorms. They're not going to be prepared in the event something like this that happens. So
Hopefully
like,
it doesn't.
things go bad so
in
quickly.
'84, like a tornado hits the St. Claude Fair, and I was in a newspaper article I read. So I think maybe doing these broadcasts more often might get people thinking about it, in the summer months. So, they go to these places, they're aware. So I might be going overboard, but.
Well, and the outdoor theater, the drive-in theater in St. Catharines did get hit by a tornado, and it did have Twister scheduled to play. However, there was nobody there. There was nobody there when it happened because
That's funny.
the storm had knocked the power out, and there was no movie showing. So just to
Good.
little, there we go, back in time. So this is the comedy meteorology report. I'm Joey up here in the mountains. Okay, Frankie, take it away.
If you want to follow me on social media, my Blue Sky is at Frankie MacD. Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Twitter is at Frankie MacD. My link tree is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD984. My TikTok is FrankDon984. My Clapper is FrankDon984. My Twitch is FrankDon984. My Snapchat is Frankie MacDon. My YouTube channel is Dog Wolves, and my LinkedIn is Frankie MacDonald. Best luck to you. I'm Frank McDonald. You're listening to Comedeorology Weather Report every Thursday night to Joey Only.
That's right. We're on CKUW 95.9 FM Winnipeg, CFUR 88.7 FM Prince George, just near me here, about 2 hours away. CFBX Kamloops 92.5 FM and Rogers Television. Thanks to the panel. Thank you, Frankie McDonald, as always. And of course, our special guest this week, Mike and Justin from the Weather Center of Manitoba. See, it took me all show to get it right. This was a bit of a discombobulated episode we had here, but that's why it's a comedy meteorology report. It's not, you're not supposed to be too serious. We have Brandon Hauk here, as always, Mark Ingalls, meteorologist Mark down in Portland, and associate producer Imogen Bailey. No Hilding tonight because his internet was no good, unfortunately, so we had no Cowboy. That's I think, all I got to say. Anyone got anything they want to say to wrap the show up?
Best luck to you. I'm Frank McDonald. You're listening to Comedeorology Weather Report every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic.
All right, I'm Frankie. Yeah, you can catch Frankie on the internet. And we had to make up a couple minutes here, so we can go a little bit longer on this side.
So, I wanted to ask, before I go, have you guys thought my comments have been really good? I got lots of weather stories growing up as a kid, and Justin also is a prairie guy, so I think we get along perfectly, me and him.
I think anytime you guys want to come on, you can come on.
Yeah, I'd love to come on because I'd like to show some of my photos to you guys that I take. Some of those snowflake photos are pretty amazing. It'd be nice to show you guys.
Was Justin, like I have an iPhone camera. Would an iPhone camera be able to capture up close snowflake like that?
No way, iPhone won't do it. Really, it's got a special macro lens, but we could talk about that on another show.
All right, more on snowflakes next time.
Exactly.
That's the show, Frankie.
That's the show.
That's the show. Okay, we'll see you next week, everybody.
You guys.
All right, we're still live,
Okay.
but now
Brandon
we're not
Howe.
recording for radio.
Brandon Howe.
Come in and shave next time because I don't look good for that. That's why I have a good face for radio.
Oh
Yeah.
my
You know what? It's the thing is, nobody cares.
I know. I literally just got home from work. I hopped on the show. It is what
You
it
know,
is.
Yeah,
Nobody
seriously.
cares. They couldn't smell you even if you didn't shower before the show, Justin. I mean, they don't care.
Oh, man.
I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty-
I made sure this week to actually brush the wood chips off from when I brought wood in for the wood stove.
Hey,
You know.
nice.
The other day when I was making my forecast, at the very end of my clip, I looked down and realized I'd spilled cereal had run down my face and onto my. So I made a whole. But of course, for most of my video, I'm this big, so it wasn't until the very end when I'm making my final thing, and I'm like, and I have cereal spilled on my shirt.
Happens to me with this big beard, all the milk and food gets stuck in there.
I'm not used to having facial hair, really.
Yeah.
I don't do it much, but there you go. So it's no one
Someone
cares.
told me the more facial hair you have, the less hair you have when you get older.
Oh no.
Yeah, it comes, it goes.
And then it
Well,
goes to your
I've been
back.
told if you wear a hat, if you wear a ball cap, you're gonna go bald. I'm still wearing my ball cap.
I heard the opposite though, because it protects your hair follicles having the hat on.
Oh,
So,
perfect. Look at that.
Yeah,
I gotta get me one of those hats, Justin. If you could send one when I get paid, I'll send you some money and you could do you still make
You're a team member, so you get one free. But where we got to get some new merch because it's got the old logo on it. It's the classic.
well, I'm gonna show you something here, but give me 1 second. I'm gonna show you. Give me one second to show you something here.
you guys are
While
wondering
you bring that up,
you guys are wondering what my show is called. It's called Transland.
Transland. So this is my project here in BC that I've been running for about the same length of time. So I find what you're doing very inspiring because for 3 years I've been talking about putting this on a T-shirt, this logo, or on a hat or something like that, And we do have 17.3 thousand members, and it is a group intentionally. So this is here we go. The snow has arrived just in time to cover up my dog's shit. You can see how fast the change came just a little over 2 hours ago when I posted a little video clip here. It was blue skies that way, and we're just starting to see it overcast over here. But now this was by accident.
Myself.
That's cool. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna write down. I'm gonna join the group.
Definitely for some snow tonight in Wells. And
You were-
so I share that with you. and so I don't usually post videos of my dog pooping, but here I am. I got a couple minutes to go before showtime, and I'm like, I'm gonna make my quick video for everybody on the snow cup, and then my dog's taking a shit right next to me. But yeah, this is the group I run. So I find it really. What you're doing is exactly what I want to do, right? So another thing I often do after there's another group I run. One thing I often do after the show is offline. We can get our foul mouth out. It's the fuck bullshit. Top stories and fuck bullshit this week. So to hell with the evidence. This guy seems legit. The Earth is stationary and fat. Space is fake. I mean, who's he trying to convince? That's the funny thing.
Earth is flat. Space is fake.
this is a very convincing font.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If he just painted it on there, I'd be like, nah, he's probably lying. But when you use hockey paper,
this counts as sans serif, right?
yeah. And my friend Chris Walter says, yet this guy is allowed to drive.
Hey, remember that guy's vote counts
Brandon,
as much as
gave
yours
us-
does.
Brandon gave us these images earlier. America's getting fucked by
yes.
severe weather. This content
Nudity.
is
Oh, no.
flagged for nudity.
Facebook.
yes.
Oh my goodness.
Peens on screens. That's what that
Here we
is.
go. Compelling argument that the Earth is not flat.
Got some curves there, I think.
That is funny.
They don't, but there's one more person.
I was just talking to the bears about this last year. A UFO would stress out a bear. Woke left wants your kids to have fresh water. I agree with this guy, but he's not funny.
Hey, here's something about the woke left and water. Actually, Portland does not put fluoride in the city water system, and this is I don't know if this is normal in Canada, but in the U.S.
That's not the woke left. That's the hippie yuppie.
Well, yeah, but
we do have fluoride here. We do, right?
Yeah, so Portland doesn't do that.
Working class places everywhere have fluoride.
Yeah, including Winnipeg. I think they put fluoride and chlorine in our water. I don't know why they do that.
That's why my teeth are so nice.
Yeah, we're just drinking it straight out of the Cascade Mountains.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
I remember going to Panorama, and they get water from a lot of I think they get their water off the lakes out there. So that's why they get like water advisories more often, just because of contamination concerns, whatever they get out. Because I think the water off the mountains is less clean sometimes.
Hey, it was really good though. I went to Alberta just a couple years ago, actually, and I drank out of the Athabasca Glacier. That's the best water I've ever tasted.
Ooh, that's
highly
nice.
recommended.
I drank out of a glacier on Mount St. Helens, but it was all sand.
Oh no!
Just salty.
The Athabasca Glacier was turning that way. There's not much left of it. Kind of.
Well,
sadly.
the last 1,000 feet when you climb Mount St. Helens, it's just ash from 1980. So it's like you take 2 steps up and you slide 1 step down.
That's fun.
I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna get going, guys. Just want to thank you for the group tonight. I'll maybe be on next week. I've got to work at Safeway again tomorrow, so gotta get ready for that.
Nice. You get Safeway's union job?
Yeah, it is.
Right on, buddy.
Thanks for joining, Mike. Cool to see you again.
Good to meet you, Mike.
Good to meet you, Mike, for sure.
And what is it air on CKUW?
Mondays at
noon. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I freaked out 2 weeks ago because I turned on Prince George Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and I was like, I haven't listened to my show in so long. I'm gonna tune it in. I tuned it in and it was some music that I didn't recognize, and I was like, "What's this? Where's my show?" And they said it's now on at 2 p.m. on Saturdays. We didn't tell you. Okay.
Oh man, that'd scare you. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I surpassed 1,700 followers on my South MB Weather Twitter account.
Awesome.
So if you check that out.
I am no longer on the Twitter.
Yeah, me neither.
That's why I steal Brandon's Twitter. That's why I steal Brandon's Twitter.
Twitter X.
Feel
I have to-
close, eh?
I have to live vicariously through Brandon's Twitter.
My roommate,
Yeah, Brandon's never going to give it up.
my roommate called them a bunch of twits.
They want me to fucking pay to post? No way. People don't believe in gravity, so that's what that was saying all this time.
All right.
Hey, Brandon.
Oh, we had a big
have you,
social media blackout this week.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That was scary. That scared the heck out of me because Facebook's basically the only place I'm at with that kind of follower load. So that's why I can't wait to get the website going and have our own platform in case the Book of Face ever quits on us
Well,
permanently.
that's exactly why I started doing YouTube. Was because I kept getting put in fucking Facebook jail. And I get put in Facebook fucking jail, and then there'd be a disaster happening.
See ya, Mike.
See ya, Mike. Mike, see ya. There'd be a disaster happening in British Columbia, and I'm in Facebook fucking jail for a week for something the algorithm said was bad, but was totally taken context.
That's why I have like 4 different Facebook accounts now, and I'm admins on all those accounts. So if I get blocked from one, then I'm good to go on a different one, hopefully.
That's
Hey,
something I've thought about as well, right?
do
Justin,
it.
what are you gonna use like WordPress or something to set up your website?
Yeah, it's gonna be through WordPress, getting a local company here in Brandon to do the site for us. So excited to get that going.
I have a website that is hosted by one of my coworkers, and I'm thinking of migrating it to my own, but that'll be
Yeah.
WordPress probably. But I'll just do it
Yeah.
myself.
I'd say WordPress is the way to go. Seems like most of the big web people are using WordPress. So
I saw statistics. 40% of the top 10 million websites are WordPress.
Wow.
that's cool. Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that. I'll have to
So
write
if
that.
I
WordPress
should have
ever
taken
goes
my
down,
WordPress seriously,
then we're
man.
really screwed.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, here you go. What in the flying fuck?
Wow.
Well, that's how you
Oh
get
my
eggs.
goodness, you guys. Jeez.
Hey, Brandon Hauk, what's your favorite cereal?
Oh, right. Yes. Special K red berries. Yes.
Special K.
Forgot about that
Ooh,
tonight.
that's a good
Special.
one. We just got off-brand strawberry mini wheats.
Mini
and
wheats.
those
I
re-
had them today. My favorite.
Those really slap.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is
Yeah.
it cereal day today? Oh, it's cereal day today. I didn't know.
Yeah. National Cereal Day.
And Frosted Flakes and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Gotta love it.
Oh,
Yes, it's one of these holidays made up by the radio industry, so they have something to talk about in the middle of nowhere in Alberta.
There you go, Brandon.
That's right.
Yeah. That's good.
How-
Yeah.
You know how to find an atheist? They'll tell you. Yeah, those atheists wearing their atheist necklaces and atheist earrings and building gigantic atheist monuments and congregating to yell out loud how much they love atheism and going around the world to different countries to tell people they should be atheist and making sculptures of the first atheist and painting pictures of the first atheist and screaming to random strangers how they love atheism. Yeah, it's atheist to do that. But actually, I kind of do.
For a second there, you sounded like guy from Christmas Vacation there.
Oh,
For a brief second.
I love that movie. That's great. So
Oh,
you can share your screen on here, hey?
Yeah. Yeah, you
Huh.
just there's a
Maybe
green
I
button
can
on
show
there.
you some of my cool photos. I don't know if any of you guys have seen them before.
You can see and look at before you do. Here's this guy. Just
Oh
Just,
my
uh,
goodness.
Oh
just-
yeah,
I wouldn't want to touch his dildo collection. There you go.
It's a weird picture. This is a funny group. I got my
This is-
wife. She's like, "What's going on over there?"
That's fuck bullshit this week on the Comedeorological Report.
Oh man, that's great. Well, let me see how the screen share goes here. I gotta get some ready to show you first here.
well, either way, they will be cool because they will be snow.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
So that was just some
my
low
wife
hanging
would get
fruit.
that
We're
fun
dad
tip, yeah.
joking now, man. It's like,
Yeah,
the show has really gone downhill this year.
Yeah, pretty much ever since you let me on, right?
Yeah, that's when it started to even out, man.
My wife loves puns, so she's laughing. She's having a good time.
I get Josh walks in earlier and the dog's barking. I'm like, I'm Josh, it's Thursday. I'm trying to make a show, and he leaves this letter, and it's like I can't even read what that says. And I'm like panicking because I've been in all these controversies in town, and and I'm panicking, and I can't read it because my eyes are. I'm 44 years old, and Iverson.
Oh yeah,
it's my T4 from last fire season, though. Okay.
yeah, tax season. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I spent a minute earlier when we first started broadcasting, trying to figure out what this fucking letter was about.
It's a letter from the king.
It's a letter from Barkerville saying I'm still banned. So my fire crew, we got approval from the ministry. We're going to have my fire crew here in Wells. And already people have said, what happens if there's a fire at Barkerville? And I said, well, either I go to jail or it burns down. I'm doing my job so they can get over it. So that's on the record.
It's on the record that you're going to go to jail.
If that's what it takes to do my
folks.
job, I mean, God, how petty can we be? Small town politics. Bringing a fire crew to town, say thank you, Joey. And
Yes.
Joey only live from Letterkenny.
Really. But yeah, things have been quiet this week. Things have been quiet in town.
That's good.
Yeah, tell you all about it sometime.
Okay, let's
what a
try
fun.
this screen share thing here. I'll see if it works.
You got the. You see
Let's
the button
see.
there? Yeah, you got it. Right on.
Oh, yeah.
Holy how far zoomed in is this?
That's like about 3 or 4 times magnification. So I don't know what kind of zoom that would be. I got it's a Venus Optics 25 millimeter lens, but it's like 2.5 to 5x zoom. So it's
What are you
it's
shooting this on?
Nikon D800.
Okay.
I
Are
use
people accusing you of AI? Or are they like, that's not real?
No, I haven't had any of those comments yet. There's some other snowflake. There's some other guys who take pictures of snowflakes too, and they've had some of those comments. But I haven't come across that yet. But it's just I capture them on a black mitten, and then I take the photo. But because you're in so close with the camera, only a certain part of the snowflake will be in focus. So you got to take like 40 different individual pictures and then kind of focus stack them all together in software after the fact. So there's a lot of work that goes into it.
So this is a composite then?
Basically, yeah. But it's of the same of the snowflake, but it's just
right
stacked together, yeah.
And then you get other snowflakes who are like, hey, that doesn't look like me, and they're offended. But you're like, that's they're snowflakes.
Yeah, this one was like super close, like super small, probably like not even a millimeter like across. It was just insane. But the best snowflakes to photograph are you look at the ground and it's really shiny and it just really reflects back into the camera. It's pretty neat stuff. And it's true. Every snowflake is different. I haven't come across, there's some that look similar, but never one that's ever been the same. So
you gotta come back on and do this or show some of these when we're doing the TV recording, because
yeah, it's crazy. And that color's real. That's not added in post-processing or nothing. It's a process called thin film interference. Kind of like when you see, say, a vehicle spills oil on the ground and then it mixes with water from the rain and it gets that rainbow color to it. Or in a soap bubble, you'll see rainbow kind of in the soap bubble. Same process here when you capture it with snowflakes.
That is fucked up.
It's super cool, man.
Wow.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites yet. It's almost like the perfect snowflake. It's awesome stuff.
It's crazy. People don't even think about it, eh? It's just, it's out. But it's like everything is so wonderful on Earth.
It is, yeah.
Every little detail.
Yeah, this is like it's like a column snowflake. There's a whole bunch of different kinds of snowflakes in terms of, when it's falling through the atmosphere, what it's like through the atmosphere. So you'll get these column snowflakes or these kind of plate snowflakes. Was just crazy, like somebody hand painted it coming from the sky.
I learned about how these different types of snowflakes form in college, but seeing as I forecast wind and solar energy at work, it's all gone out of my head.
Yeah. And this is like a rare 12-sided. Sometimes you'll see like a 12 branch snowflake, but they're pretty rare.
That's a fucking mutant one, man.
I know.
It's from Uranium City, Saskatchewan. That's what the snowfall looks like.
Yeah. It's crazy, like the detail when you zoom in, like anyway, yeah, that's cool.
That is
just
wicked,
my
man.
favorites. Yeah.
I'm always a sucker for snowflake pictures.
There we go. You came to the right spot.
Which is funny because I hate snow.
It's just beautiful, man. It's not in the spring though, when the roads turn all muddy and it's all the sand and it's black and just gross muds up your ear.
Man, I lived in East Idaho for a winter and like Yellowstone country, and my wife and I moved into this town in like late October, and then it started snowing in November, and there was snow on the ground until well into April, and like when it started to green up in May, I was like, holy crap, it's like we moved to a whole new town, because like I've only seen it in black and white.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, it's we always joke here. It's like nobody should go for a car wash until all the snow's gone because it's just gonna get dirty again anyways.
Do you use salt on the roads there?
We do actually, yeah.
Yeah.
So you do want to go for a car wash.
Yeah, exactly. So you do, or else it's going to rust out your vehicle. So you can't really win. There's a lot of sand. They put a lot of sand on the roads, probably more than salt. They really sand the roads here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sand is the main weapon here in Wells for sure.
That's some cool footage. Wow, nice.
Yeah, this is crazy moments for my 2023 fire season. I turned the volume off, but
yeah,
let it run while we talk and just give you some examples of some shit we saw.
Man, that's nuts. Jeez.
Man, I have
that's not even the worst
respect
of it,
for firefighters, and but it is not a job I'm about to do.
Man, it's so much fun.
I bet.
So much fun.
Wow, that's got some pyrocumulonimbus going on there.
That's exactly what I said in that original recording. That this little stack wishes it could become a thunderstorm, but it just does not have.
We can annotate for this. Actually, in California, during one of the big fires outside of Redding a couple of years ago, the fire generated pyrocumulonimbus clouds that were strong enough to generate their own tornadoes. We're not talking about fire whirls here, but actual legitimate supercell tornadoes coming from pyrocumulonimbus clouds sourced from a wildfire. And so California's strongest tornado on record is one of these. It was an EF3. So imagine you're a firefighter outside of Redding, California. The fire's coming at you. You're trying to fight it, and all of a sudden a tornado's coming at you too.
Yeah, well, we almost had something sort of similar, during the heat dome in June 29th, 2021, where the smoke from Lytton and down south and South Caribou fires created a terrifically violent thunderstorm, man. And it was dropping big hail. It was supercellular, and it was the cause of a lot of the fires that lit up at that time, right? So Lytton exploded and South Caribou exploded, and it was just like boom, 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 boom. Here's 100 new fires too.
Yeah, and especially I think further north, you might be more prone to that just because the upper level temperatures are going to be cooler. The closer you get to the Arctic.
Yeah, absolutely right. So definitely seen firsthand a couple times. Like I've been on a fire where I watched it stack up and I was like, that's turning into a thunderstorm. And then we went back to camp and the storm hit camp like square on. And some of the footage I've shown you guys in the past is from one of those days.
So this tree, this is just you pee on it and it goes out sort of situation, right?
Well, the problem is each one of these keeps lighting up and you can see all the flaming shit flying across the guard and including on top of me and down my neck. And so, it's doing this. And when you're standing there with no resources in your hand and the tree goes up, it's like, well, I guess I'll just stand here and watch to see what happens in 10 minutes on the other side of the guard.
This really feels like a guess I'll die sort of situation.
Yeah, there was some tense moments last year, but I can't recall really being scared much. It's try to be in the right place.
Man, all that green foliage too is just burning it up.
Oh, when it goes.
Yeah.
Ooh, some boob clouds.
Oh man, There was some terrific thunderstorms last year in the Prince George region. Day after day after day, getting chased off our fire. It was we had so many days. I had so many days in a row where the fire got too hot and crazy and ran. So it's like, well, we better go back to camp. There's nothing we can do. Get out of here. And then it's like, or like days where it was like, there's so much lightning and hail and thunder. We might as well go back to camp. So we kept having these short days because you just could not actually function out there from how bad the storms were or how crazy the fire activity was, right?
You guys actually got, and it mixed in with other stuff, but actually got a little bit of leftover monsoon moisture up there that was pulled up all the way from Arizona and Sinaloa and places like
yeah.
that. We dealt with it a lot with our solar assets, but you guys got a little bit of that too.
That was another day that we just saw a second ago that made a pyrocumulus. Well, it didn't. The storm was already in existence. The fire fed it and pissed it off.
Sure.
Yeah. The storm was forming. It was, strong development, which, with the extra heat and energy coming up, became severe quite, right? So that was a fun day.
Talking about extra heat, when the eruption was happening in 2018 in Hawaii, the weather service there noted that over the lava flow itself, it actually rained a lot because, it's subtropical Pacific. And so it's moist. And every afternoon, the heat coming off of the lava formed thunderstorms in what would normally be just like partly cloudy.
Right. Well, guys, I guess we've been at it for a while tonight.
Yeah.
Getting close to 2 hours, so
Justin, it was nice to meet you.
Yeah, man.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah.
I got your names written down, and I'll give you guys a follow or add you as a friend, whatever, wherever you guys are.
Yeah, do so. And come on more, man, because especially because we're on the air in Winnipeg, and it'd be nice if more often we had Manitoba people.
Yeah, well,
Joe Stover is playing hockey every night, Thursday night or something like that during the winter. Never get
Yeah, I'm good for probably pretty much almost every week. I just work until 9 o'clock Central Time, so I'll just have to hop on a little bit later, like I did here tonight. But
that's not totally fine. And we don't really have much rules. People just sort of like come and go.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like I never really have a show plan.
It's been fun, I kind of always see like Reed Timmer has kind of a show sometimes, or he'll talk with a few different weather geeks, and now I get to be part of one, so it's fun.
Yeah, I want to build that in Canada. That's kind of what the thing is. They have so much weather culture down there.
Yes, we do.
And we're trying to start our own, and the Americans got wind of it, and now we got an American involved, and that's okay.
Yeah, there's so much of it down here. I had to find my niche in Canada.
Well, no, the reality is that I don't really consider the existence of the border relevant to anything when it comes to weather.
Yeah, well, that's right. Even when I go up to Vancouver, it feels like Portland and Seattle. Like,
yeah, it's the same. It's the same country, even though it's not the same nation state.
Right, North Dakota, exactly. Montana's too with Manitoba. North Dakota feels the same as Manitoba.
But North Dakota does not feel like Portland.
No.
No, those are different countries. You know what I mean? Even though there's the same nation state. That's like how I see the world, right? It's like, but that's what annoys me about, because Americans have such great quality, weather, everything, and it always just stops. It's like nothing's happening up there except cold and igloos and fucking stupid people.
Yeah, your national anthem goes, "Oh Canada, land of moose and ice and snow," right?
That's the one I wish.
Like, honestly, I think people think that we to get to work, we're riding on polar bears and we're living in igloos and stuff.
If my dad had his way, he'd be riding to work on a snowmobile.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is a good clip.
I was gonna say, for sure, we should build this in Canada, because this is a good idea, and this is something that, because the Weather Center of Manitoba has such a big following, we can incorporate some of this even with the Weather Center of Manitoba as well, because all those followers would enjoy kind of listening in and just watching something like this every week. So it's cool.
Building a bit of a thing, and
I'm glad to be part of it. It's fun. Thanks for inviting me.
Without really, a plan or much for goals.
I started off the Weather Center,
but I'm building
without any plans either. So it's good. It's a good idea to start things without having a plan, because eventually
that's how Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers started. Now I definitely have plans for it. I haven't acted them out, but as far as the show goes, we're just doing it, and it's fun.
Honestly, building the page, you don't know how many pages on Facebook I'm banned from, because I literally was spamming the comments of posting links to my page, like come follow for accurate weather, come follow. Like I'm banned from CBC News. I'm like Brandon Sun, like, all these like local news stuff because that's how I organically, without paying any, I haven't paid any money in advertising, built the page to 115,000 followers it is now. So,
in high school, I started my Tri-Cities weather page where I lived in Kennewick, Washington, and I did this. This was 09, and I did the exact same thing. Is I went around to all these Facebook pages and all these groups, and I was like, "Go like my page, go like my page."
Well,
And
this was part of the genius that I started a group. I mean, I started Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers in 2014 as a group because it's my anarchism, right? It's like, well, why would I make a page? I could have a group, then people could participate, and maybe it would grow by itself. Yeah. And then what's happened is that, as I kept nailing forecasts, and people were like, wow, cool. They kept sharing the group, and then I started having I'd make a fire forecast in 2017 and get 1,000 shares. I was like, wow, look at that. I got 500 members, but I'm getting 1,000 shares, so that it having it as a group. But, now I'm kind of ready to have it as a page and a group and a website, kind of, expand that, right? For the Comedeorological report, I would love it to be like this fucking awesome thing that's all over the place and we're all together. And I don't really know how to do that. And, but I can edit the show and talk shit.
Hey, well, maybe
okay, you want to hear this?
Maybe we'll be on the radio here in Portland soon.
I want you to hear this quote.
We removed some fuel at least.
Wait 1 second, it's coming. Not yet.
Oh, that was a good one. I missed it. Blasting winds, smoke, lightning. Oh yeah. Yeah, man, it's not joking around. See those lightning strikes? Holy fuck. Boom! 1 kilometer or less. Guys, believe me that I'm a weatherman yet?
That's the one.
Do you believe me? I'm a weatherman yet?
Yeah, I fucking nailed my calls that day. We were doing a backburn that day, and the storm was sucking it. That was this. It's.
You were in the suck zone.
Suck zone. And everyone's like, the storm's coming. Do we keep burning? And I was like, I was up on the top with my Kestrel in hand, and I was like, send it. Just keep sending it. Don't stop now. Keep now.
Just do it. Don't let your dreams.
Yeah, while it's sucking. So by the time it got done sucking and started blowing, enough wasn't flaming that it didn't actually jump the guard. But I nailed it. To the minute when the storm's going to be, and keep burning, and this, it was just everyone was so impressed. And so at the end of it, it's like, do you believe me? I'm a weatherman. Yeah, it's kind of fucking funny, right? But if you could hear Corbin's quote, he says, "I believe that you watch global news today." I said, "Fuck off, man."
Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna head her out, but it was fun.
Yeah, we'll see you next time, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll definitely be back on whenever you guys want to have me. So,
yeah, you guys are fucking great.
Thanks. See you guys.
See ya.
I think that's the show for us this week, everybody. So if anyone's still actually watching out there, thanks for tuning in. And right on, Brandon and Mark, you guys are diehards. You're awesome. Fucking help make this show awesome.
Something like that.
We try.
Yeah, come on. This is like my social outlet of the week. It's like, it's like to have this nice social outlet, then I have to spend hours cursing and editing tomorrow. I'll pay for it. It's like a hangover.
That's gonna be a tough one.
I'll figure it out. We got some cuts to make this week, and
that's just how it goes.
We went overtime on purpose for that reason. Oh yeah, it's been over 2 hours. Okay, I'm out of here. Bye, guys.
Good night.
Love.